Another episode of FTMIG live on the Midas Letter Network.
Without
Sir Karl. Without Sir Karl. It has to be Sir Karl. I'm not sure if he's been knighted, but his name is Sir Karl.
All right.
Karl will be joining us for a little bit, for a quick segment. He is under the weather. He's still here. He's a trooper.
He sounds like poo.
He has no voice. It's gone, so he'll be joining us afterwards. But it's a ridiculously stacked show.
Yep.
We have a lot of people coming on.
One after the other.
We've got Boris is coming on, Boris Uyghur, CEO of Matica Enterprises. He'll be tuning in with us. We've got Bo Krasik, Director and President of Believe. Got to talk to him about the stock split they did, what their company is going. I think that's an undervalued company. I really don't think people realize what Believe is growing into, so that'll be interesting to go through. Danny Brody. I don't even need to say what company he's with, even though I will, because everyone knows him. They know T-God.
He's everywhere.
He came into the studio. We were talking to him as well. We've got Margot. She was from Gabriella's Kitchen, CEO of Gabriella's Kitchen. That is CBD wellness foods, but as well as CBD and THC in the States. It's an American company. We're touching base with her as well. And then lastly, we have, and not least, Jason Spatafora. We're going to be the Wolf himself. Him and Karl did a really cool,
that was a great
2.5 hour long Facebook Live on our FTMIG live page.
That long, but they just kept on going.
2.5 hours. Awesome. So we've condensed that into 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
All you need to know in 12 minutes.
For different things. So if you missed our live video, it still is available. FTMIG live. It's our Facebook page. But if you're looking for a 12-minute version, that's coming today as well. I took up like half our time just saying who's going to be on the show.
That's a busy show. That's a busy show.
But something big happened today.
Oh, yeah?
Or yesterday.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Exactly. The elections, man.
Midterm elections. You know,
a lot of things happen, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times we speak so much about Canada. We see you, our neighbors to the south. We know you're still there. We're this tiny, like, we're our whole country's the size of, like, California. We get it. You're way bigger than us. But no, we do pay attention to that because there's a lot of implications for cannabis in the United States.
Oh yeah, it's only a matter of time. And I mean, more states obviously know. Like who do we got here? Michigan.
Yep.
They just legalized recreational marijuana.
Nice.
10th state to do so.
Yep.
So I mean, 10 out of how many are there now? 50-something, right?
So along that line, this is why we don't know our geography too well in the States.
Yeah, so that's good. How many, like, our boy Todd, he lined us up with all this stuff. So 10 states that are legal recreationally.
Yep.
There are 20 states medically.
Nice.
And then medical with THC limit of 0.3% THC or no more, I believe, is 14 states. So it's
coming forward. I remember someone telling me a while ago that there are more states with either recreational, medical, or both legislation of some sort than there are states without it. So it's now in favor of people who are recognizing, wait a second, this probably isn't a Schedule 1 drug.
The biggest one that didn't want it at all ever probably would be Texas.
Yeah.
And what is it, Pete Sessions?
Pete Sessions.
He was voted out. So
he lost his seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know Pete Sessions, not related to Jeff Sessions.
Not related to Jeff Sessions.
But arguably, he's been a bigger proponent against cannabis than Jeff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jeff pulled. Oh, I think it was Jeff at least pulled the Cole memo, which was brutal for the United States for a while there. Still is. But Pete Sessions, as legislation went through the United States, he was the one who kept constantly fighting it, not letting it get tabled. He's gone now.
Yep.
But what I did learn as well, I turned to some Americans who knew more than me, is that although Pete Sessions lost his seat, the Republicans lost the House. Now the Democrats have it. So
Ted Cruz is still.
So yes,
I also reached out to my brother-in-law who's from Texas actually.
Okay.
And I was asking him, and I was like, I just asked him how he felt about everything. He felt all right. He's a Republican.
Yeah.
Through and through, so he felt pretty good about everything that was happening. But so they still, I guess, hold the most the thing in Texas. They
Not too sure.
I know they run it still, so
they still have control.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, right? But it's making change, though. It is pushing forward.
That's a huge, especially since it's like massive. An all Republican state.
Yeah.
For the most part. So maybe we see a little bit of a difference soon.
Well, let's see. Well, also we had Missouri passed for medical, or sorry, not Missouri. There were certain amendments, forgive me, I'm not familiar with them as much as try to keep up with the United States, but we have a lot going on in Canada as well to pay attention to. Utah as well.
Yeah, 32nd state to legalize.
They just legalized medical cannabis. So,
oh boy.
Some important things. And I'm sure it's obviously not just cannabis.
The American election,
but that's why we're talking about it, because we want to talk about cannabis stocks.
That's it.
Or stocks in general. But yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, and you talk to different brokerage firms and different people, like analysts, they're really, really shifting their attention to the United States.
Yep.
And you're still going to have your Canopies, your Freas, your Whalens, your Auroras. Like, you're going to have companies who are going to be able to have a real global presence and be massive companies.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're talking about these smaller LPs in Canada and you're trying to compare them to, legal operators in states like California, Nevada, I mean,
it's no chance. I know.
That's where I want to start looking into American companies.
100%.
Green growth brands. I keep mentioning them because I'm really interested in the whole retail aspect of it. Cannabis is going to be a commodity. So, it's interesting for all those for all the viewers who are watching this. You got to pay attention to these things because it helps you invest your money.
Oh yeah.
And is it a good time to go to the States? Right? Yeah, exactly. And I know people who've already been putting money in the States, and they're not expecting this 50 to 100% return in 24 hours. It's not real. It does happen, but that's not normal. But they are waiting, and that's where you get the huge multiples. Look at the people who went into Canopy when they're $2, $3, $4. They waited 2 or 3 years to get that massive multiple that they did.
Yeah.
But through patience, they had a great reward. But they picked a good company too, good leadership.
So that's it, right? That's why we need to find them in the States so we can have that kind of thing. But you might have to wait a little bit, but I mean, it'll pay off.
We'll find him. We'll get you into some more private placements. He's already in like 20 private placements. We'll get you into 21, 22, 23,
Let's do
up
this.
until 30.
I can accept. I will accept that.
Well, we're going to switch it over for all of those who are wanting to watch the interview with Boris from Matica. Stay tuned. It's coming up in 3, 2, 1. And we're here in the studio today with Boris Uyghur, CEO of Matica Enterprises. How are you doing again?
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's like we've spoken before, right?
You think we have, haven't you?
Well, a lot has changed since the last time we spoke. There's a significant development in that time.
Yes, there has been. Yes, we got our cultivation license.
Cultivation license.
Absolutely huge. Yeah. This has been a long time in the making.
Absolutely. I can imagine that's a huge weight off the shoulders. That's your staple to move forward now.
You know what? It really was for about a day.
Yeah.
And then it's like it hit me, oh my God, the amount of work that I have to do over the next year and a half to get this to where we want it to be.
Yeah.
It's almost as if, they just started the, shot off the starter's pistol, right? This is it. This is now where we go.
And we were talking earlier about, just like what you said there, the cultivation license is the most important thing, other than, of course, the sales license. But that's a cornerstone to get that cultivation license, and then that gives you, the ability to start pushing forward and getting more advancement, but also looking to get your sales license, your oils.
We've got a lot more regulatory work to do. That is the first one. That is your starting point. Once you have that, then you need your sales license. You've got to get your oil license. If you want to do R&D, you need an R&D license, export license, because we're looking at a whole variety of things that we're going to do with the company to grow it right now. Because as we like to say, we're a growing company.
Yeah, so that's good.
In more ways than one.
Figuratively and literally.
Absolutely.
And I believe you're still waiting for the clones to come in. Exactly. There's a process for that.
Yeah, the way that works is once you get your cultivation license, that's when you can make the order for the clones.
Yeah.
So you've got about a 4 to 5 week wait until you get your clones.
Yeah.
So we're all geared up for that now. We've got staff is in place. The facility has been, cleaned within an inch of its life. Not that it wasn't clean before, but now they got the Q-tips and the tweezers out there. This place is just going to be immaculate. Actually, it is. I was there the last week, and when I seen what they've done with it, it's like, oh my God. So this is ready.
Oh, good to hear.
So yeah, really.
And you, and obviously we recently rolled out legalization throughout the country. How's it going in Quebec right now? I believe their stores, aren't they open only Monday to Friday, something like that?
Yeah, they've got...
Because of shortage issues?
They've got shortage issues. Yeah, they really do. I mean, there's only 12 LPs in Quebec, and only one of them can actually sell.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a tough market over there right now. It's an underserved market, and we're hoping to change all of that.
Absolutely, and with that change and looking to serve it, I believe, or I know actually that you've got expansion plans.
Absolutely,
and already beginning.
yeah, of course.
Do you have an update on what you're doing over there?
Absolutely. So we've got the one facility, which is in Dorval, which is our 10,000 square feet. It's not a huge facility, but that's where we got the license, and it is state of the art. We're going to be, it's all indoor growing. It'll be just incredible product that's going to be able to be produced out of that thing. We have a great grower. And just the systems that we have in place to grow, we can. It's all climate controlled, automated. It's a fantastic system. Yeah. But the expansion will be down in Hemmingford. Hemmingford, it's a beautiful little town on the South Shore. It's only about an hour's drive actually from Dorval.
Okay, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's very close. It's in an area that they call the Garden of Quebec. It's a strange little microclimate down there where they get the same amount of sunlight hours as we do here in Southern Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's unique. It's a unique little part of Quebec, just a tiny little pocket, and basically it's almost like you're down in Leamington or something like that.
Yeah.
It's warmer. You get more sunlight. The land is flat, and the local community is very much behind us. Yeah, so we've got a lot of support from the people down there. They've been fabulous.
No, it's good to hear, and yeah, you're getting ready for that. But you've also just recently got two products on here because one of the partnerships that you have right now, and if you can go into a little bit of an explanation of who Unify is, this is the first product from your collaboration together.
Unify, yeah. Okay, so well, just back to the property in Hemmingford. The reason we've teamed up with Unify is because we're going to be growing in greenhouses down over there. So we're building 1 million square feet of greenhouses. And we've got room for outdoor growing. We've got about 30 acres right now of tilled soil where we can grow outdoor once we're licensed for that.
And that's great cannabis for oils.
And that's great cannabis for oils. And that's why Unify is part of our company right now.
Yeah.
So we've invested into Unify. We're going to own about 40% of the company. And they're going to be making proprietary products for us, like cannabis-infused oils. And, well, not really oils. They don't actually use oil in their products. It's a weird clay suspension technology, which allows for time release. It's kind of strange. On a molecular level, the cannabis is infused into the clays, and it's almost layered molecularly, and it allows for time release when you're putting a topical on. So I think it's better than anything else out there. And once you start infusing cannabis and CBDs into this thing, it'll be an incredible product.
Yeah.
And but that's a little ways away because
you're still waiting to see what that's going to look like. Well, it'll come.
Well, you're waiting for R&D licenses for them and all of that kind of stuff to start doing that. But in the meantime, what they've developed is this.
Yeah. And what is it?
This is an amazing spray. What this does, it's a mist that eliminates the odor of cannabis.
Okay.
It's not like a air freshener or anything like that. This one, at a molecular level, actually absorbs. It sucks in. If you imagine like a molecular sphere, which is hollow inside, and it sucks in the odor molecules, and it completely eliminates the smell of cannabis.
It's not masking it. It
doesn't mask it. It gets rid of it. Yeah. So if somebody's smoking cannabis, there's a lot of people who smoke medical cannabis on a daily basis, and they don't want to walk around smelling like they've just smoked. So you take this, and may I?
Yeah. Go.
Little spray, and it just eliminates the odor, and it's got a beautiful. As you can see, a little peppermint. It's got a lovely, lovely scent. Yeah, and we've got a larger size. You can do the room.
Yeah.
So if you're smoking indoors and you don't want your wife or whatever to come in and complain, give it a bit of a spritz, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's an amazing product, and because there's no cannabis in this is just it's a cosmetic essentially product, right? It's cosmetic grade. So you can use it on yourself. You can sell this worldwide. Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any certain platforms that you're looking to sell it through? The website?
Website. I mean, we're going to be looking at online platforms, and obviously we're going to be trying to get it into stores soon. So we're working on that. And again, Unify, they've got a lot of experience at that. They sell products through their company. They've got creams, shampoos, and all that kind of stuff. So they're no stranger to putting things to the market. So they'll be very useful in that. So
yeah,
and it is a Matica product.
Yeah,
so
it's good to know.
It'll get the name out there, so people will recognize Matica as not just a cannabis producer, but an all-encompassing cannabis company.
Yeah, and we actually we did a video when we went down to Quebec to visit you guys with Unify and spoke to their scientists or whatever their accreditation. Forgive me, it's probably not the right word, as scientists,
but they are.
But
no,
they are.
They are. That's exactly
and
what
that can be found at FTMIG.com. Just Google that. You can Google Unify or Matica on our website to find it. But they go into depth about the clay suspension, about the different products, and about their accreditations as well. The different people who've been working in this industry for decades.
Yeah, so they're a serious company.
They're interesting people to meet.
Yeah, they're a serious company. This is not somebody mixing some products in the basement. We've got serious labs with serious people who produce amazing products.
Oh,
like this is incredible. This is, to me, this is a game changer. Nobody has this.
Yeah.
And it's a Matica exclusive. It'll be a proprietary product for us. And any retailers watching,
for sale.
Contact me directly.
Yeah, for sale now, for sale now. Well, you've gotten over cultivation. We've talked about this before. I believe we even said in the beginning of this interview that's the first step of a marathon.
So yeah, exactly.
And so what are the catalysts coming up? What can investors expect over the next coming
they
weeks
can
and months? That you're allowed saying.
Okay, what I'm allowed to say. Okay, we're going to be applying, obviously, for a sales license. We're going to be growing cannabis. We want to do our extraction license. And we'd like to tackle export because there are overseas market that really want Canadian cannabis and Canadian cannabis products, especially things produced by Unify.
Yeah.
So there's a huge market, there's a huge world out there, and we intend to go out there.
Boy, I'm excited to hear it and see how it come through. Well, I just want to thank you for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you, Boris. And we'll have you get on soon to see where the progress is coming, what's new and exciting, and we'll see the journey of Matica as it continues now through cultivation and now into growing and beyond.
Well, we like to say that we're a growing company, and you can watch us grow.
There we go.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank
you very much. And we're back. Carl's not there to pat on your back this time.
That's brutal.
No, not fair. It was great having
that was pretty cool.
Boris come in. We knew about that very early, and he's been going for that for the longest time. And I think that's one of the best lessons that we saw a lot of different LP hopefuls go through is that if you don't have the right security team or the right compliance team, the process gets so much longer, and sometimes for some people, that process never finishes.
Yeah.
Then you turn to in his case, David Hyde. David Hyde Associates.
Oh yeah.
Top of the game. CCI, absolutely fantastic. They're so global too.
Yeah, they'll help you right out.
You see those two in your cannabis companies, you know at least you're in good hands.
Oh, exactly.
And they've done it before. Yeah. And that's what happened here. Yeah. You got the right people. Did you try the spray? I did. I smelled pretty good. Yeah. It was nice.
Did you get high before and then try it and then make sure you didn't smell it?
I did not. Yeah, I choose to not to get high before going on you personally. All right. I wouldn't have a well-articulated thought whatsoever. I'd be talking all of a sudden just...
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, where are we?
So I leave that for late at night if I need to relax. Usually it's a little bit whiskey, but teach their own. But no, it was great having him on. But the market itself...
it's looking a little flattish.
Well, it's all over the place.
But like pre-market looked like it was just going to fly. Yeah. You know, like everything was up nicely, and I mean, it was all good news coming from the States and everything like that. And then pre-market happened, it was good, and then it just kind of trailed off. I mean, even T-God kind of got a little sell-off there, but I mean, it went up hard. Like, of course, people are going to take a little bit of profit and stuff like that. So. Yep.
Look, and it was really interesting. I mean, we've got Danny Brody coming on, I think about a half an hour from now. But one of the things we spoke about was his stock price. And I'll go into that in the interview. You got to wait and see it. And then we'll go back into that.
Oh, I can't wait.
The suspense! But no, we talked about about what's happening with his stock price and how it's been moving. And he brought up some good points. And again, around a half hour or so, you'll find out what those points are. But it's been interesting. I mean, I'm looking at U.S. cannabis, and was this a sell the news? I don't get it. Yeah. Trulieve is down 4.5%.
It's like whenever you think it's going to go well, it just does the complete
I stopped trying to guess.
They're trying to be like junior miners.
Tilray, funny enough, is up. I don't want to look at Tilray that often, but it is up C-Web is up almost 4%. Yeah, nothing really too big there, but it's just been interesting seeing what it's been doing over the last couple of weeks. Ed asked me, I was on the show with Ed last week, and he asked me, is this an investor's market or is this a trader's market? And I think we've always been investors, but right now, there's a case for saying it's a trade. In one day it'll go up, but how many of these are holding their gains now?
Oh yeah,
not really.
Not many. No, like I mean, you see it all the time. That you see them like they go up that much, and then you see it go right back down.
Yeah.
But there's no catalyst for it to really go down, except for people are just taking their profits.
Yeah, and it's hard to say.
Wrong with the company, it's just see it go down. But then people see that and they're like, oh well, what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's like, well, nothing's wrong. Do your due diligence. Look, like.
Yeah, it's just movement, right? Yep. It's money going all over the place. We had Andy Blanchard on here last week talking about how a lot of fund managers are window dressing their funds because they want to de-risk themselves. So if you've got a fund and you've got say you get like an 8% return, but you're high risk, and one of your peers is 8% return and they're low risk, well, this guy's a bad fund manager.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people, when you get closer to the end of the year, this is when you start getting evaluated up until January, I was told, where you're going to want to start pulling some of your capital away from these riskier markets because and putting it elsewhere, even keeping it as cash. Yeah. Cash is an asset.
Yeah,
but then when you're rated, you're not rated as risky for the next year.
Man, that's sneaky, isn't it?
So that's using these speculative markets, you start seeing a little bit of that happening right now because people are watching out for that. So there's just so many different things. You know, if you think you're going to come into investing and within a week, like, oh, I've mastered it. I'm sorry, you're a fool.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're saying that, you're done for. Put a little Brooklyn Nine-Nine there.
Yeah, well played.
Cool. Well, what also was cool was Believe coming in.
Well played.
You like that segue?
Oh, my God.
I love my conversation with Bo. It's the first time I met him in person.
Yep. We met everybody else when we went.
We went to the tour, and I did not think of Believe that way. And that wasn't a negative thing towards Believe. It's just there's so many companies right now. You're fighting for people's attention for their time.
Talking to that master grower was awesome.
Shane was awesome. He's also co-founder as well.
Yep.
They had some really nice plants there. We got to take a tour. The video of that is not here, but there is a video throughout our interview that shows some of their product. And they've got a lot going on that I didn't know at first, but since that
Bo dropped some knowledge on you, did he?
He did. Bo dropped some knowledge, but even since that tour we took, I started looking into a little bit more, and okay, this actually looks like one where, unlike a lot of these other companies that I think are really overvalued and I just won't invest in anymore, great companies I just won't invest in right now. I have been looking at Believe. I do not own any shares right now, but I've been waiting to see what the stock split did, and I'm getting ready because I really like them. So why don't we turn it over to, myself, but with Bo as well, and he really had some really good points about his company. Let's turn over to that now. And friend, we have Bo Krasik, Director and President of Believe. How are you doing today?
Not bad. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And we were speaking just before sitting down here that I actually visited Believe for my first time about a month ago or so. We were invited out there and Shane gives a tour. It wasn't what I expected. It wasn't. And it was actually above expectations where I looked at some of the cannabis he was growing there. It looked really, really nice.
It's one of those underrated stories. We kind of kept quiet, but Shane's a rock star. He's been doing that for such a long time, over 20 years of experience. He's really been able to grow from, in the last 18 months since we got our actual cultivation license, just in terms of yields and, making the atmosphere a lot better inside and the climate controls and the fees that he's using. And, people are quite surprised when they come and see it. Even some of the underground guys from before, I've shown them pictures and they're quite impressed because there's that stigma between what LPs can do and what they can do, and everybody's quite impressed. There's a bit of a talk in BC about him right now. He's getting some notoriety, so super proud to have him. He's one of the original founders. So,
and in that exact point you just said there, actually, I started seeing that sentiment all over my Facebook or my different Twitter feeds, whatever it be, where your connoisseurs, they secretly, or not so secretly, do not want to buy cannabis from LPs because they don't think they can grow. But then some of these LPs are coming out and they have these buds, and people are like, wow, this came from LP. It's funny that stigma was there. I didn't really fully realize until after the legalization. That's a huge topic right now.
It absolutely is. I mean, I think everybody learned over some time and period of time that, how to actually make, or grow good cannabis. Maybe they've switched their growers, maybe they've changed their techniques. Everybody learned. I think everybody just kind of, head on first and said, we want to be part of this business, we'll figure it out later. Yeah. Some have, some haven't. We've always been there, and we're just continuing to improve, right? Yeah. So there's definitely a couple guys out there that know what they're doing, and we applaud them for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of improvements, one of the things that Shane was telling me that I'm sure you can elaborate on was each grow that they've had over the last months and all this time since you guys have had your cultivation license, you've been increasing your pounds per light quite drastically, he was telling me.
Definitely. So about 18 months ago, he was getting about 1.2 pounds per light, to the point where now he's getting 4.2 pounds a light. Yeah. In investor talk and capital markets talk, that's about 720 grams per square foot under canopy per year.
Yeah.
Right. And he still thinks he can grow that. I didn't believe him a couple of times. I actually had to go and count myself, which you wouldn't see someone like me do that, but I definitely went out there and had to double check, as he said. I was up till 12 o'clock just going over it 4 times. So it's like, these numbers are right. I go like, okay, fair enough.
That's more than double the yield, just over tweaking things, working on different aspects. So one of the things that was very evident when we went there, there's a culture. Everyone we came across, whether it be students who were learning how to grow, whether it be Shane himself, or there's another master grower there. I'm alluding his name.
There's a couple guys. There's